These days, it feels a little bit like running my head up against a brick wall, and it feels like as a society, as a world, we're kind of running our heads up against a brick wall. Their employment numbers are staggering. They're terrifying, and all of us are affected in one way, shape, or form. It's hard to know, where we go from here. It's not like there's an answer. And right now, all of this is officially worse than the last financial crisis. So it's not even like we have a recent reference to go back to. In a way, sometimes it feels a little like we're venturing into the void, right? Or that there's just sort of this nothingness to me, like that the story kind of ended and we happen to just wander into it. And now where do we go from here? Feels, sometimes feels a little hopeless. Feels like a little hope seems lost a little bit now. So hope is not lost. And here's what to do. Here's what I'm doing, what I have done in the past, and I feel this way, what I've been calling up again in these times, and what you can do as well if you are just feeling like hope is totally lost right now. So hello, I am Owen. Thank you so much for joining. I love it when you come here as always, and I appreciate talking with you. We are also live, so feel free to ask any questions that you like or comment. We love that. Please, if you're on YouTube, then go ahead and subscribe. Hit that button below this video. And on Facebook, please join our Facebook group for your fellow abundance hackers. Abundance hackers, folks who know how to find creative solutions to look after ourselves and keep in service to those around us when times get tough, like right now. So we'd love to have you in the group. So hopelessness, a feeling of hopelessness, what really comes up for me around this is like very shortly after I left the corporate world and started out on my own business, and it was a very, very rocky start. And I remember one day in particular, it was a summer day, it was a day in July, and the evening was coming down. I was walking up Doheny Drive in LA where I lived at the time, and I was walking up the sidewalk and I was looking at all the palm trees. I was looking around thinking like, wow, I love where I live. I love being here, and I am about to lose all of it. All of this is going to go away. Everything I've worked so hard for, I am in a failure right now. The money is not coming in the way that I wanted it to, that I expected it to. I'm going to have to make some very drastic changes. And I just remember walking every single step along that sidewalk, just like heart beating in my chest and almost this sweat of just like, I have to leave Los Angeles and my life is over, right? Everything I've built for in my life is gone. And even more so, I failed. That's what was really just hammering into my head this entire time. And maybe it was that was the hopeless part about it, was the feeling of that failure. Maybe it wasn't so much that there was no hope, but it was just this intense feeling of failure coming on me. So what happened though, as I was walking along this sidewalk, I guess I can still see it as I'm talking about it, just like it was yesterday. I eventually got to a point along the sidewalk, and it just sort of clicked to me that I was like, let me just for a moment silence the voice in my head. Hey Doug, what's up, Doug? I'm so glad you're here. Let me just for a moment just stop this constant hammering of that I'm a failure. I just take a step back and take a look at where I am objectively. And when you take something, I look at something objectively, I was able to take the emotion out of it, right? To just take a step back and look at me and say, okay, here's my situation, here's what I'm doing, this is where I want to be. And as I took the emotion out of that exact moment, particularly the emotion of that voice hammering at me, telling me what a failure I was, I suddenly was able to put it into perspective and realize that I had been through worse situations before. That this was an unusual experience, and certainly not one that I had been through specifically before, but I had been through other situations that in comparison, like, oh yeah, well that was certainly worse than where I am now. And in that moment too, I realized like, I'm still alive. I still have the ability to put one foot in front of the other. My game hasn't run out. I'm still here, I'm still breathing. So I still have options available to me. And once I was able to take a look at it that way and see, okay, now I can find the options, suddenly I was able to clear my mind enough to use the kind of creative thinking I needed to find my way out of my dire financial situation at the time, to find what I needed to do next. And now here I am today. Business is still around, I'm still in LA. Things not easy for sure. And I just certainly won't say that any of this is like a great, wonderful, it's all wonderful story. Like, it's a lot of hard work, but in that moment, the hopelessness, if I had not found a way to release the grip of that voice hammering me about what a failure I was, then I may not be here today. I may have given in to the hopelessness. And we are not going to do that today, right? Because you are an abundance hacker and we're going to figure this out. So if you're feeling hopeless right now, like if you are reading the news, if you are unemployed, if you are facing just so much dire, unknown circumstance ahead of you, and it seems like there's no hope at all, then some things you can try are stop that voice in your head, or at least identify that anything that is, any language that is going to your head telling you about what a bad person you are, what a terrible person you are, or what a failure you are, it's not you. You can stop that. That's not you. That's other processes. It's other things that are happening. You don't have to indulge this voice. You can tell it to stop. You can. Every time you start getting this, oh, I'm such a failure, I'm such a failure, I'm such a failure, go in the mirror and look in the mirror and tell yourself some awesome things about yourself and see if that doesn't clear that problem up right away. Now, I get it. This voice is a nasty one, and I had it for years and years and years and years and years, and it took me a long time to be able to quiet it on purpose. Sometimes it happens by accident, and maybe you experience that. But for me, it really helped, like understanding that it doesn't belong to me. I don't need it. I don't have to put up with a voice in my head telling me that I'm a piece of garbage. So if that's what's happening to you and that's contributing to the hopelessness, just tell it to shut up. Go stand in the mirror and tell yourself 3 things that you love about yourself. All right. On that note, generally give yourself some love. More than just stopping the voice, make a habit of appreciating what you are doing well, appreciating the good things that are happening in your life. Because I'm fairly certain that even if it does look like things are completely hopeless, that there's got to be at least one thing that is pretty good in your life. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's a pet. Maybe it's a hobby. Maybe it's a talent. Maybe it's just a general feeling. Maybe it's where you live. Maybe you did 20 push-ups in the morning. Who knows, right? Whatever. Something that you did that you feel good about, or something that you've got. Be grateful for it. Give yourself some love. Be grateful. And finally, one of the biggest things that I notice anytime I feel hopeless or that I just don't know where I'm going and I feel like the walls are closing on me and I feel that pressure, is because I don't have a plan. I don't know where I'm going. I have no path forward. And that's kind of what hopelessness is, right? It is almost the lack of a path forward. So make one. Pick a path forward. Obviously, there are restrictions as to what we all can do right now. Like, if your path forward is to go hang out at a baseball game, you're probably going to be sorely mistaken right now. But find something that you can do and set a path. Pick what you want to do. Where do you want to head? Who do you want to be in a month, in a week? I know we can't plan very far ahead in these circumstances, but who do you want to be? Where do you want to be? Think about that. Get a path forward. Help break the hopelessness. Because how can you be hopeless if you know where you're going? Right? Now, and what do I do? How do I pick a path forward? What kind of path do I pick forward? Well, the best thing to do to find a path forward that really gets you excited and is something that can help clear up the hopelessness and the fear and that voice, that nasty little voice, is to commit to your passion. Get involved with your passion. What are you passionate about? Take an hour out of every single day and spend that hour engaged with moving forward, developing your passion. And if you don't know what your passion is, then spend that hour of every day figuring it out, exploring what your passion might be, exploring what might get you excited. That in and of itself can be a passion for you. So if you need some help trying to figure out what your passion is or getting along on that way, then I highly recommend go to owenjward.com and I will send you your free copy of How to Unlock and Unleash Your Superpower, your guide to go from scarcity to abundance. Just tell me where to send it, and I'll send it to you right away. So that's onjward.com. Anyway, I hope that that you are doing well, and I hope that you are staying safe and healthy. Hopelessness is not real. It is an illusion. You don't have to deal with it. It's not true. Doug says, feeling good these days because I'm getting more exercise than I have in years. See, starting to feel like I'm beginning to get in shape. There you go. See? That's amazing, Doug. I'm so happy to hear that. That's exactly what we're talking about here. Congratulations. Well done. So there you go. Be like Doug. Find something that makes you happy and something that gets you excited. Hopelessness will leave you behind. So that's it for today. Doug, thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. And I will talk to you tomorrow.